the sun is just starting to climb up over the treetops. And it's gonna be a beautiful day, that's plain to see.
Welcome to Bill Dance Outdoors, America's most popular and longest running TV fishing show.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.
Are we going to have some fun today? Why, yes, we are. We're going fishing. Anytime you do that, it's going to be fun. I don't think we'd do it if it wasn't. How many times have you heard someone say, I dread I got to go fishing today, or I hate the fact that I got to go fishing, or I'd rather take a beating than to go fishing. I'd like to play sick and call in today and not go fishing. Well, not me. Most folks would kill to go. You know, it's a wonderful fresh air activity that 60 million Americans love to do. As we fish along, I'm going to be answering some of these questions that we receive. What are the advantages versus disadvantages of a longer rod? Okay, listen up. Longer rods move line faster on the hook set you get. You also get a better hook set, and they also affect lure action. But when you're pulling a bait, let's say with a 6-foot 10-inch rod, you'll move a bait a greater distance than you would with a 6-foot rod. Example, let's say you're Carolina fishing and working a 6-foot 10-inch rod from the 9 o'clock to the 12 o'clock position. You'll probably move the lure from 5 to 6 feet. Now, if you were using a 6-foot rod, the lure would move approximately 3 feet. Now that's important. If the fish are holding to cover and not very active, more than likely you could be moving the lure past the fish too far or possibly too fast and missing catchable fish. This contour line comes down through here. It's 13 feet. The contour line, there's one right there. Hit it right at the boat. Hey, boy. Come here. A little spunky job. Easy. He followed it a good ways. A good 2.5 pounder. Now I've jumped from 13 up to 5 real quick right here. So it's 13 right there and it's 5 right here. So that contour line just starting to make its turn right here. This forms a flat right here. Alrighty, here's a good one about vegetation. Why is vegetation so attractive to bass? Vegetation is attractive to bass for several logical reasons. It produces oxygen, it's essential for life, it provides security for bass, it attracts food, it purifies the water, provides shade, and offers an edge. It's fish haven to which bass and other things gravitate to. Weedline depth is governed by sunlight penetration. The clearer the water, the deeper the vegetation will grow. In lakes with dark water, the deepest weeds often end as shallow as 4 to 6 feet. But in clear water, the weeds can be as deep as 18 to 20 feet. Usually weather, algae blooms, and water clarity may cause the depth of a weed line to vary from year to year. There is one final but very important point to remember. 3 important edges in any body of water are the shoreline, the surface, and the bottom. When vegetation interacts with these primary edges, fishing is enhanced.
Bill Dance Outdoors is sponsored in part by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Rebel, catch fish anywhere. And by Mercury Marine. Go boldly.
Today's Conditions Log is brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development. Come experience the kind of beauty that can only be made in Tennessee. Go online today for your free Tennessee vacation guide.
Feels like a little bit better one. Yep, he's coming out with it. Oh yeah, that's a better one. Whoa, daddy. Yes, sir. How you like that? Get my pliers. Do a little surgery. Get a big old long slinky thing. He's a long one, isn't he? All right, we're going to the water. See ya. Okay, moving along. Here's an Instagram question I received not long ago. What can I do consistently to catch more fish? Well, there's no mystery why some bass anglers are more consistent than others. Those who catch the majority of fish do one very important thing. They zero in on where bass live. In fact, that bass, especially largemouth, rely heavily on structure and cover more than most other game fish. That structure is a geological makeup of the lake floor, regardless if it's man-made or if it's natural. The more we learn about how these super creatures relate to structure and cover in our lakes and rivers, the more consistent we'll become about winning the match with them. How do you find submerged structure and cover? Well, today we have some of the best electronics ever made to assist us with that. Sure, it takes some time and work as well, but it's worth it. I catch fish today on spots I found 20 years ago. Wait a minute, here we go. Whoa, baby. Stay hooked up. Stay on there, biggin'. Yeah, that trolling motor. Can't happen on that boat. All right, you come over here. Ow. Got a hook in me, but that's okay. I got another hook in me. That's okay. A big old fat. Yes, sir. Got me out of breath. Yes, sir. Okay, we're gonna say bye-bye. See you, buddy. Woo!
Today's show is brought to you in part by Quantum Rods and Reels. Quantum, performance tuned. Mystic Lubricants, lubrication domination. And Tracker Boats, fish the finest. Today's show is sponsored in part by Berkley, catch more fish. Bill Dance exclusive rods by Quantum. And by Garmin. Bite your fish, not your fish finder.
Today's equipment log is brought to you in part by Gamakatsu, because the fish of a lifetime only comes once in a lifetime.
There it is. Oh goodness, another good one. He's up on the top. Again. When he does that, I just think he's gonna throw it. He's full of himself. I just want to touch you. I promise you, if you just let me touch you, I'll let you go. I know you're big. Look at him just tugging. Got that big old tail. Okay, hey, just calm down. Hey, please. Just let Daddy touch you. Oh, you big pretty baby. Oh, you sweet thing. Look at that. That's a big old bass right there. Hello. We're going home. I'm not gonna hurt you. Thank you. Time to say bye-bye. You know, today we're using a lure that brings back a lot of fond memories. The Cotton Cordell Big O with the original square lip bill. But today we're using the smaller size. You know, this bait was designed by Fred Young from over around Oak Ridge, Tennessee. He used to carve them out of balsa wood. Then he sold them by the dozens in egg cartons. Now the Big O was named after Fred's brother, Otis, who was rather a large fellow. And fishermen, believe it or not, used to rent these baits from the marinas over on Dale Hollow Reservoir for $5 to $10 a day. And listen to this, they had to leave a deposit when they rented them. I think it was around 4,000 Big O's were made. And he hand carved every one of them. He had every one of them numbered. Now, when Cotton saw Young was getting about $15 a piece for the ones that he sold, well, he had to have a meeting with old Fred. And he wanted to make a deal to possibly buy his company. Now, I remember this very, very well because I was working for Cordell Lure Company at that time. And I remember the day that one of my good friends, old Bill Nichols, I used to night fish with Bill over on Norris Reservoir. Bill gave me a call one night and he said he was going to bring Fred through Memphis on his way over to Hot Springs, Arkansas. That's where Cordell Lure Company was. And he asked could he stop by and have a cup of coffee with my wife Diane and I. And naturally I said yeah. Well, that evening, I got a chance to meet Fred, and we exchanged a lot of fishing information and fishing stories. And what he did, he autographed several of his original Big O's for me before going on to meet with Cotton and selling his company. And every time I catch a fish on one, I think about old Fred talking about the way he carved that bait out and the way that lip and the wobble and the pivot point on that bait and how he designed the bait and how he came up with the idea. They're a very, very good lure. They caught a lot of fish back then and they still do today.
The Bill Dance Question and Answer of the Week is brought to you by Bill Dance Exclusive Rods by Quantum. Whether you're fishing for panfish, bass, catfish, or light saltwater, we have an action for you. Available at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
How important is boating safety? There's a boatload of truth to the saying. There's no such thing as being too safe. Boating safety is paramount, but since we anglers are in and out of them so much, we may get a little lax and take safety precautions for granted. Now that's dangerous. Visit the U.S. Coast Guard website for safety tips. Always keep safety in mind, as well as the safety of those who share the water.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Millennium Marine, a new class of comfort. And by Garmin Force Trolling Motors, fish with force. Closed captioning provided by PowerPole, the original shallow water anchor.
Today's product tip is brought to you by Garmin and their GPS map series, chart plotter sonar combos. With advanced sonar technology like Chirp and exclusive Panoptix all-seeing sonar, you'll spend less time finding your fish.
Millennium Shade Tree Umbrella Holder will hold your shade tree umbrella shaft precisely where you need it, whether you're fishing from your own pedestal seat or Millennium's double seat sidekick. Constructed of heavy-duty anodized aluminum, swivels 360 degrees for maximum protection and locks into place for quick telescopic adjustments. This device will hold the umbrella perfectly while you hold the fish, of course. Millennium Shade Tree Umbrella Holder. You're gonna love it.
Come be a part of Bill Dance Digital. Join us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Follow us.
Oh my, here we go again. He's up on top of the water. Oh my. Oh, this. Oh my goodness. I knew he was big when he hit it. Will be easy. I got this 10-pound test line. Drag slipping. He hooked in the side of the mouth. Big old lanky fish. Okay, baby, it's time to go home. That big old mouth. I know big baits catch big fish, but whew. All right, it's time to go home. See ya. Okay, here's a tip about your reel drag. You know, the drag assembly on your reel actually is not a brake. Brake stop things. The drag is resistant to rotation. Simply put, it's a clutch. It slips. By adjusting the drag, you make it more or less difficult for the spool to turn. In other words, applying more or less pressure to the fish. Righty-tighty, right here. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So that's what you want to do. Remember, The drag is resistant to rotations. So when that fish is pulling, you want that drag to slip. And I've said this lots of times, on Quantum reels, these drag systems are as smooth as country butter. So remember that, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Your reel should be set at 20% of the line's breaking strength. That means if you're using 14-pound test, you should have between 2.5 and 3 pounds of drag. Whoa, 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 whoa. There he goes, there he goes, there he's coming on back. Go, here we go, here we go. Oh, don't you dare do that, don't you dare do that. I'm trying to get into the bushes. Oh. Ooh. That's when I think he's going to do his little deal. Right in the top of the face. All right, now, wait a minute. Ah! Ooh, that water's cold. Okay. Look at that pretty. Ooh. Okay, here we go now. I got that now. Look, I'm gonna show you something. Look at that big mouth. That little bitty bait. Don't. Hold you up. Isn't that pretty? Didn't I tell you we were gonna have some fun today? I'm glad I came along. We answered some emails, possibly learned a few new tricks or two, and caught some bass, and some pretty good ones too. What a day. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Thanks for watching Bill Dance Outdoors. Join us here again next week.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill